Alright, y'all, so I'm finally outside the classroom. So we done did all the classroom modules and everything. So now we starting to work our way outside, doing like all the pre-trip and the in-cab pre-trip and stuff like that. So that's what we're really working on today. So everything is outside working out. So we're gonna get this pre-trip down. I feel like the pre-trip is my only issue. So you gotta know all these parts, and you gotta know, you gotta say it ain't, metals, and then you got the rubbers and everything, it ain't cracked. I gotta get all that lingo down, crack, frayed, and leaking, and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Rusty, all that stuff, and then you gotta know all the parts, majority of the parts on the engine. You gotta know the suspension, and you gotta know stern, tires, you gotta learn all that stuff. So right now we're going over it. So we've been doing that today, and then we did like the in-cab pre-trip. That's easy. I feel like that's a little tedious, but it ain't too hard. It ain't too much that you got the dash. I'm familiar with this. I have a freight line. I know how to work the air pressure and all that stuff. So that should be no problem. It's under that hood. That's my issue, getting under that hood. Man, them folks talking some alternator, this, that. It ain't cracked, fried, and frayed, and all this type of stuff. I'm like, what? I gotta remember this stuff for the test. It ain't cracked. I'm not even still getting the lingo right. It's supposed to be like, it's secure, mounted, not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasten, and there's no damage and stuff like that. It ain't cracked, frayed, and you know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff, But we're gonna get it down pat. Once I get that down pat, we A1. I feel like the driving part, I know as far as backing, I got the concept, is if you backing up with the trailer, you turn the wheel the opposite way, or you backing. You know what I'm saying? Then it moves like a snake, basically. But I feel like that'd probably take like a day or two for me to figure that out. Even when I first started driving cars, I learned how to parallel park the first day. You know what I'm saying? I had to take like back then when you was 15, we had to take like a driving course, to drive early. I've been driving since I was 15. Well, it's like 15 and 6 months, 15 and a half, basically, by myself. But shoot, it shouldn't be that hard. I'm pretty good driver. They just learn these parts, man, and putting that, saying all the stuff is properly secured, all that stuff. But yeah, man, y'all stay tuned. Right now we're on a little break, and we're gonna go back inside. And yeah, man, y'all stay tuned, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. We still got some more going for the day. Frame out, bushing, fifth wheel. Dang, I touched it. Damn. That shit greasy as hell.
Range, if there's no warning lights on. My water temperature gauge is at normal operating range, and there's no warning lights on. My primary secondary gauges are building up to the governor cutoff from 120 to 140 psi. My voltmeter reads 13.7 volts. That indicates my alternator is charging my battery. When you're talking about stuff in the instrument cluster, if you don't point at it, you're not going to get credit. So point at it, right? So now I done talked about everything in the instrument cluster, right? Now I got to talk about my lights. And I'm going to stay on my lights until I'm done, right? So I got a left turn signal indicator, that works. My right turn indicator works. I cut on my low beams. My low beam works. My high beam works. And my four-way flasher works. So now I'm done with all my lights. My windshield wiper arms and blades are properly mount secure. My blades is not torn or frayed. They're properly seated to the windshield. And smoothly wipes my windshield as well. And my windshield cleaner works. Then I cut them off. My windshield seal, I should have talked about that earlier, but nevertheless, my windshield seal is properly mount secure, not worn, torn, or frayed, and it is not leaking. At that point, I always leave my defrost and heater last. The reason why I do that is because when I talk about that, I know I'm done with everything. That just kind of like keeps me in a nice little rhythm, all right? So I'm gonna cut it to that setting, which is the defrost and the heat, both. And I'll just simply say, my defrost works, my heat works on all speeds, all right? Keep in mind, guys, if you miss one of these things in here, it's just a point, just like with the pre-trip. But if you miss anything on the brake portion, it's a failure, all right? So now we're gonna get off into doing the brake test, all right? So I mentioned my primary and secondary gauges building to the governor cutoff of 120 to 140 psi. We got to mention it 3 times. That was my first time. So the first time I mentioned my primary and secondary gauges, that's this right here, is when I was pre-tripping the cluster. I got 2 times left. So I got to mention it again before I do any parts on my brake test, right? The next part of the test I'm going to do is what they call a tug test. With my primary and secondary gauges at the governor cutoff of 120 to 140 psi, I will now do a tug test. But wait a minute, let me back up. What the hell is a governor cutoff? I'll show you. Hear that? That's the governor cutoff. If you are not at the governor cutoff, you go to move this truck to do the tug test, it's a failure.
So when you mean,
But how do you know, right?
That air just made the noise, that's it?
That
okay.
That's governor cutoff.
Okay.
If you're not for sure you at governor cutoff, right? I'm gonna show you an example. With my primary and secondary gauges at the governor cutoff of 120 to 140 psi, I will now do a tug test. However, I'm not for sure I'm at governor cutoff. May I assist it? They're gonna say yes. The first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna fan it down to about 100 and bring it back up with the gas pedal until you hear the sneeze. Try not to take it over 15 grand. That's the RPMs. We're trying to take it over 15. And you just hold your foot on the gas pedal until you hear that sneeze. Alright, there's my sneeze. I'm now at governor cutoff. Alright? I'm first going to tug against my tractor brake by releasing my trailer brake, right? It says trailer right there. So I'm going to release the trailer brake. The tractor brake is still on. What I'm doing now is trying to make sure it holds, right? So I release the trailer, left the tractor on, I put it in drive, and now I'm going to give it a tug. If the truck don't go nowhere, I know it's working. Alright? It can't move, the brake is on, right? So that was successful. You'll pull that back out. Now I'm going to tug against the trailer brake that's back there by releasing the tractor brake. Alright? Push that in, put it in drive. Somebody door open. Alright, now I'm gonna tug against my trailer brake, so I release the tractor brake. I'm gonna give it a tug. Alright, that brake is holding. That was successful. All you gotta do is pull that back out, put the truck back in neutral, feet flat on the floor. The next part of the test is what they call the service brake test. And to do this, all you have to do is explain it, right? Tell the examiner, I'm gonna pull forward no more than 5 miles an hour, apply my foot to the brake, come to a complete stop, and make sure the truck didn't pull to the left and it didn't pull to the right. I explained that to you successfully, or I explained that to you correctly, right? The next part of the test is what they call the air brakes test. In order to do the air brake test, I'm gonna make sure I'm at the governor cutoff. My primary and secondary is at the governor cutoff of 120 to 140 psi. You just heard the sneeze, that indicates that I'm there. All right. I would do this by cutting the truck off. Cut the key to the on position. Let my gauges sweep. All that means is wait for all this stuff to stop moving in here. And push in both my valves. At this point, I'm waiting on my primary and secondary gauges to level out. And this is gonna happen right around 100 PSI. So I'm looking right in here at the primary and secondary. Keep in mind, I don't have to wait for it to hit 100 exactly, because I told the examiner right around 100 PSI. All right? Once that happens, I'm gonna tell the examiner, now I'm gonna apply my foot to that brake pedal for 1 minute. And in that minute, I'm not gonna lose no more than 4 PSI. Will you time me? They're gonna say yes. Do not put your foot on the brake until you ask to be timed. We don't wanna outwork our verbiage, all right? They're gonna say, sure, your foot goes to the brake. At some point, they're gonna tell you time. They may wait a whole minute, they may not. As soon as they say time, first thing you're gonna say, as you can see, I didn't lose no more than 4 PSI in a minute. Mind you, my foot never left that brake pedal. It's still on the brake. Do not take your foot off the brake. Leave it there, right? Once I do that, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell the examiner, I will now fan my brakes down to 55 PSI, and I'm gonna get a warning light buzzer, and then just do it. There's my warning line buzzer. No, my foot is still on the brake. Okay. All right. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna tell the examiner I will continue to fan my brakes down to 40 PSI. At which point, those knobs right there, those valves, they're gonna pop out. And make sure they both pop out, because sometimes only one will pop out. All right. If that happens, just keep on fanning. All right. They both have popped out. My foot is still on that brake. I'm gonna tell the examiner, see there? My knobs, they popped out. All right. That's the end of my in-cab inspection. I will now do a safe start, reach down, fire up the truck. Then you can take your foot off the brake and ask them to help you check your lights on your tractor and your trailer, right? They're gonna go out in front of the truck. You turn the left turn signal, you yell out the window. That's my left turn signal. That's my right turn signal. This is my high beam. This is my low beam. This is my four-way flashes. They're gonna walk back behind the tractor. You're gonna do the exact same thing all over again. Only difference is you gotta touch your foot on the brake to show that the brake lights work. They're gonna go back to the back of the trailer. At that point, y'all probably gonna be doing some type of hand signal stuff, right? You're gonna turn all that stuff on, right? Now, as they're walking back down the side of the truck, they're gonna be watching you in that side of your mirror. And this is what they're waiting on you to do. Yeah. Do that, you just failed. Alright? Cut the truck off first, then take the seatbelt off, right?
Okay.
Now, the next thing they're gonna be waiting for you to do, because they're gonna be watching, you do some shit like this. Do that, you just failed, right? The next thing they're gonna be waiting for you to do, you're gonna get in front of the truck. They're gonna say, where's the key? If you say it's in the ignition, you just failed. Take the key out the ignition and take it with you. Put it in your pocket. All right? Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, again, seems like a lot.
All right, y'all. So I've been doing the in-cab inspection. That's what we've been doing today. So then, boom, honk the horn, air horn, seatbelt is properly mounted, secured, no damage. It's no damage or anything, not worn and torn. Properly, my seatbelt properly hinges and unhinges. Boom. Put that safe start. Boom. Turn it all the way on. Windows are clean and clear. No, my windows are clean and clear. No, they're clean and clear. No damage, and they're properly mounted. And there's no illegal stickers to block my view. My windshield is properly mounted. It's sealed, no leaks or cracks. My windshield wipers work. They're properly mounted, no, not cracked or broken. My windshield wiper fluid is full, it works. My air works at all levels. My heating and air works. my defroster works, my air works. I have 3 safety components. I have my fuses. I have my rated and dated fire extinguisher. I have my 3 triangles in the back. My 3 reflective triangles in the back. And then I turn it on, let it see the hole. I turn it on and see the whole thing. Make sure I let all the gauges properly work. Okay, then boom. I gotta make sure my gauges are at the DOT standard of 120 to 140 psi to perform my air brake test. First, I'm gonna check my parking brake. I'm gonna push them things in. So I would push those in, push this one in to test my trailer brake. I should get a tub, boom, push it back, take it back out, push this in to test my tractor brake. I shouldn't get nothing, boom, do that. Then I have my service brake. I will move up at least about 5 miles per hour. Then I will hit my service brake, and my tractor should not move left or right. Oh, I gotta go over my gauges. See, you gotta make sure I'm going over my gauges. My oil, I ain't got it on, but my oil light should be fully. It functionally operates. My oil levels operate functionally. My water and coolant operate functionally. My primary and secondary operate functionally. They should be at the DOT standard of 120 to 140 psi. I have my amp volt, which is working properly. That supplies that my amp volt works. That goes to my alternator that powers my battery. Boom. After I do that, I was supposed to do that before I did that. Before I did that test. Now I'm gonna do my leak test. I'm gonna press down on the brake for a minute, and my PSI should not go up past. My PSI should not go down past. It should not go down 4 PSI within a minute. Do that. Boom. It shouldn't do that. That completes the leak test. Now I'm gonna perform the air pressure sign, the air pressure warning, and air pressure warning light and buzzer test. Boom. Do that. Press. It should come on. Boom. Do that. And then now that should not go past 50. When it hits 55, it should come on. Now I'm going to perform my push valve test. Boom, push them 2 in, where they should already be pushed in. Boom. I'm gonna keep pressing till they pop out. And then after that, that completes my push out test. That concludes that. Instructor, do you mind getting out the vehicle to test my lights, front and rear? Boom. Do that. They come, show them the key, and then I get out in 3 points of contact. You know, I feel like I got it. I really just learned that today. Not even gonna cap. We just learned that. Well, we've been learning it, but actually performing it today, I just learned it. It's our second day on the range. So I feel like I got it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So Now I just gotta get my outside the cab inspection. Once I do that, I feel like I'm A1. But yeah, that concludes this video, y'all. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, and continue on the journey of this video. You know what I'm saying? This whole CDL journey, man. Out.